Call the Water Pollution Control Authority and Town Council meeting to order for Tuesday, January 3rd, 2017 at 7:04 p.m. Start first with salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Duty.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Fawnin.
Here.
Councilor Angeloni.
Here.
Councilor Arman.
Here.
Councilor Candelora.
Here.
Councilor Diamond.
Here.
Councilor Manna. Councilor Miller.
Here.
Councilor Rose.
Here. Okay, next item on the agenda is minutes of previous meeting, December 13th, 2016. Motion to accept the minutes.
So moved with the following corrections. Page 3, item D, instead of copies of negotiations, it should be copies of current contracts. On page 5, under E, fire ordinances, the motion, the second line, it says the town council agrees to send instead of end the attached ordinances. And on page 6, under C, contingency transfer, it states for the following purposes, and then there's nothing listed. So we should make that attachment 1 from the minutes so that it states what they are for, and then under F, tax refunds, that would become attachment 2. Did our new secretary get all that?
Stand by. Okay, I got page 3, item D, copy of negotiations should be copy of current contracts. Page 5, fire ordinance should be agrees to send, not end. Page 6, contingency transferred, nothing's listed, should be attachment 1. And F, tax refund should be attachment 2.
Correct.
Actually, I have one more. Page 6, 15, executive session should also read, 15A should read Connecticut General Statutes 1-200, not 2006.
And in addition, on page 3, item C of the town manager's report, it does not accurately reflect the comments I made. Here it says, indicated the pickups for bulk trash should be discussed and changed. That's not what I said. It should read, the pickups for bulk trash have been raised as an issue and should be discussed. And you should strike, and period after discussed. It should not be necessarily
Yeah,
changed.
changed.
Yeah.
Eliminate and changed.
Should not be eliminated. If
You
that-
want to eliminate and changed.
No, I did not.
Oh, I thought you wanted a period after discussed.
I wanted after discussed because the carting company had approached town council looking for a change in that, and I don't think that should be done. I'm certainly not advocating for a change.
So you wanted to read pickup from bulk trash has been raised as an issue and should be discussed.
And should be discussed, yes.
Gotcha.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call.
Stand by. Mayor Duty.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fawnin.
Yes.
Councilor Angeloni.
Yes.
Councilor Arman.
Yes.
Councilor Candelora.
Yes.
Councilor Diamond.
Yes.
Councilor Miller.
Yes.
Councilor Rose.
Abstain.
Next, we'll move into the Water Pollution Control Authority agenda. First item's correspondence and citizen statements. There's nothing listed. Unfinished business, there's nothing listed. New business, nothing listed. Under Water Pollution Control Authority, citizen statements and petitions. Seeing none, we'll move into the regular town council agenda. Reports of boards, committees, boards, and commissions. Economic Development Commission.
No report.
Park and Rec Commission,
Park and Rec did not meet, no report.
Police Commission,
Police Commission will meet next Monday, the 9th of January.
Fire Commission meets on Thursday. Board of Education, Town Council Communications Subcommittee,
No report.
Town Planning Goals Subcommittee.
The committee has not met since the last town council meeting.
This is a short one tonight. Public Safety Communications Committee.
Public Safety met on December 14th. We received an update relative to the meeting with the unions and other budget implications, facility issues in terms of the idea of a regional dispatch center. I apologize, I have laryngitis. The committee will meet again next week, January 11th.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning Commission.
There's been no meeting since the last report.
Thank you. East Shore Health District Commission. Next is Town Manager's Report. North Branford Police requests tree removal.
Yes, there's a request from the Commission Chairman Palumbo to the council requesting that Public Works engage in the process of clearing trees behind the police department as part of their extension of space there. That's something Fran, I talked to Fran about, that's something that he can accommodate them within his schedule throughout the winter season. When it's slow, he can throw that in there. It does not have a definite time frame or when or how, by what date that'll be done, but he can do it, it's feasible. And Commissioner Palumbo was just respectfully requesting that through the council, if there are no issues or concerns, that Public Works will engage in pulling those trees down so they can potentially expand at some point.
I know
Obviously, I think
that's all town property. There's
that's
no
all-
property lines or
Absolutely,
nothing.
that's all within the town property lines, right, yeah.
Okay.
And I think it just makes sense in terms of, short term, it'll be, compounding area or whatever, but it'll give them opportunities to expand. And I think that makes sense as long as Fran, and he said he can work it in, So I don't know if the council has some
What do you need
concern.
from us?
No, just a general consensus, if that's okay. If there's no objections, then
Good
we'll
with me.
Yeah.
go forward with that.
I support that.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Next is update on police extra duty billing.
Yeah, I think you
I
might.
know
you
it's
would-
been 6 months.
Yeah, you would
It's
wanna-
been more than 6 months.
Yeah.
So we wanted to take a look at it in 6 months.
Yeah, so Finance put together that. I know Pat has had some success with number 4, the GODIC and small claims court to recoup that. And we may have to go that route with some of these others in terms of pursuing that. But we're still trying to make progress. And I know Anthony's been beating the drum in terms of Toys R Us and not getting anywhere with them. So I think that's probably one that's ripe to send to have Pat pursue and go to small claims or whatever we need to do. But it's a slow progress, but we are making progress.
I'll add that I did have success. I got a judgment against the fellow, but I can't find any assets in his name on which to levy. We're still looking.
Well, he's got quite a few other claims against him, too.
Do you know what the 7,400 from Tilcon is? It just seems unusual that
It's not that old, though. It's only
I
31 to 60 days.
I think that's Birdland, isn't it?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
oh, okay. And Costello Industries, the 8,000? I mean, those two are half of what, basically.
Some of that, yeah. I know some of it was Birdland and some of it was paving, so.
Costello was
Tilton.
Costello would be paving the earlier one we did paving.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll keep at it. We'll keep the pressure on and hope that it bears fruit down the road.
Thank
for
you.
that update.
Next is update on Birdland drainage upgrade and reconstruction project.
Yes, I've included Kurt's memo for your packet that explains where they are, and he's certainly here to answer any questions. But I think at the next meeting, we'll have to be looking for, I'll be that to Anthony to speak to, but it's probably something we're going to have a shortfall there. We're going to have to allocate for. So I don't know if Kurt has any.
Yeah.
Extra information, but-
Essentially, if the project's done, again, Tilcon did a fantastic job, and the window they had, I don't think anybody else could have completed the project the way they did, and the time they did. So we had a very successful construction project, getting everything in there and wrapping up right before the snow flew this winter. One thing, we're short $140,000 to $150,000. Primarily construction related due to the extra work that we had with the where we had to do a Meadowlark Drive and Hummingbird Drive. I had to do complete reconstructions of portions of it. Miscellaneous items, but the number I think I'm giving is adequate. I looked at sort of worst case for inspection time. That's pretty much done. I've got to wrap that up. It'll be under what I originally thought it would be. But again, there's some punch list stuff that'll have to be done in the spring. But we're going to have to make up that deficit. We don't owe it to anybody right now because there's payments that we're holding on the whole thing. But we'll have, as Mike said, we'll have to find money and allocate it for the project. We do have extra money that we had set aside for the Great Hill Road Culvert project. We had $200,000 for that. That's going to be about a $150,000 project. So there's $50,000 there that I know right off the top, which leaves about $100,000 shortfall.
And all of the bonded money,
Yeah,
all the
every
remainder
night-
of the bonded money has all
I
been
think
expended on
that's-
projects?
Yeah, that's what we've allocated the bond money first.
Yeah, and all the feedback, I don't know if council members have been through there, have driven through there, but the comments that came back from the residents at Tilcon and Public Works and Kurtz and the team that was out there did a really nice job in pulling that off. And I think the council's consensus was that we wanted to do this, we do it right, and I think you did. I think you got a final product that the residents and taxpayers would be happy about, and those residents that are out there. And that neighborhood it looks completely different. Just that it's amazing what a new road will do.
Yeah. And it's more than just the functionality of it. I mean, just the character of the neighborhood is, it's a substantial improvement to the whole neighborhood. I mean, it just, but not only the functionality, but it just upgraded the neighborhood, the look, the appeal to it. And I do want to emphasize, I mean, it was a very good joint project between our engineer, the inspector out there, the contractor, the residents. Everybody worked together. And for a substantial project like that, we had really, I would say, 2 complaints that really were of any significance. And they weren't complaints in terms of, in my mind, legitimate complaints. They were just people that just weren't happy with certain things along the way. But everybody else, I mean, the neighborhood was great to work with. It was a very, very successful project.
Thank you, Kurt. Next
But
item is.
I just have one other thing, while we're on the manager's report, just to slip in that I did a review or a walkthrough with Bill Chody at MBIS on the roof membrane. I just wanted to give a quick update. That was last Thursday during a rain event, and the membrane has held and the roof has dry. We went through the entire checklist and went through what Alan Davis had given us as well in terms of chronic areas. Every single location was dry at that point. We followed up, or Bill followed up, and I went through with, it was Bill Chody, Bruce Darling, and myself went through during the rainstorm on Thursday, and it was dry. Bill went through again the following morning, same thing, dry. He's gone through this morning. I talked to him. He said everything was okay. He checked with Alan Davis. Nothing at that point, and that was, I think, about noontime. Nothing had been reported. Obviously, the storm continues. It's a significant rain event. We're going to check. He's going to check it again tomorrow morning, and we'll continue to check on every rain delay and check in with Alan Davis in terms of reporting, because each rain event is different in terms of direction, the amount, the volume, and so forth. So far, so good that envelope, after Eagle Rivet was done, is holding steady at this point. There are still a couple of things we're going through in terms of the notes, in terms of insulation and ductwork over the C wing, and a couple other things around the chimney and some flash, or near the elevator, that we got to track down a few things just to make sure that we confirm that those were all taken care of. But those probably would have shown up, or at least the elevator flashing situation probably would have shown up. But so far, so good. So we'll continue to monitor, and I just wanted to give you a quick update because it was, it was a timely thing that was happening, so.
Do we have a cost? Yeah.
Yes, we also, to date.
I mean, yeah, to date or roughly?
To date,
or-
yeah, and there's still, more bills coming in, but to date, we've expended, I believe it was, Anthony put it together, 31,000. I can send that out. I have that. I can send that out to you tomorrow via email. But 31,000 to date, give or take. I think it was approximately
Yeah.
31,000.
Does that include the whole recommissioning of the HVAC system, or just what we paid so far?
Spent today.
Okay, just that.
Just spent to date, yeah.
The
we
floor is
flooring's
removed,
not
the flooring's gonna be
calculated.
put in there as well, the replacement flooring.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, that'll be up to the Board of Ed to decide when, and obviously that'll be probably at the tail end, because they want to make sure that everything's working before they put something in there. And I'm not sure that they decided what to put in there, so, but yeah, that's outstanding. And then we've got the June recommissioning through the HVAC cooling system, the AC stuff. They've got to make sure that all works, and that'll be the tail end of it. But to date, 31,000. So. There'll be other, Bruce Darling's, a few bills there, here and there. So I'll continue to update you as those bills come in, and I'll send that out.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next is community events and presentations. After that, citizen statements, petitions, and correspondence.
I would just like to publicly thank Sisto, Malillo, and Save and Discount. In case you don't know, Sisto closed as of December 31st. He did not renew his lease in his building. And Sisto has been a huge supporter of the schools, the community, everything in town. When his kids were in school, I know he was part of the chain gang on the football team. He was very, very involved. Just want to wish him luck in whatever he continues to do. I don't think we've seen the last of Sisto. I think he will resurface again in another type of business, but I just want to publicly thank him for everything he has done for this town.
Thank
I
you.
think somebody had their hand up over there.
Hi, Donna Persley, I'm Origin Drive, and Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Okay, I know that in the near future, we're gonna be getting LED streetlights. UI is gonna be approaching the town and asking to replace the streetlights with what we have now with LEDs. And I just wanna let you know that we have a choice. We don't have this one kind of LED that they can put up. At the town, we have a choice of the color temperature of the LEDs and also the type of fixtures that they put up. Now, most towns in the area are just letting UI come in, put whatever fixtures UI wants to put up, and that's it. They aren't questioning it. Most towns don't have an idea of the fact that there are different kinds of LEDs. Now, I'm sure some of you have heard about the American Medical Association recently had a report come out that the different type of LEDs, the bluer lights, the color temperature of 4,000 Kelvin and above, which is the bluer lights, are deemed unhealthy. They say you shouldn't look at your cell phone, your TV, that kind of thing after 9 o'clock. And at the warmer, the 3,000 Kelvin and below are actually, they're not good for you, but they're not as bad for you as the brighter blue bulbs. If any of you have driven around North Haven or on the Boulevard New Haven, you see the new LED fixtures. And as you're driving down the street, these lights are pinpoints just glaring in your eyes because the LEDs are hanging down like they're not supposed to be, and they're also very blue. So what's happening is, as you're driving along, you're seeing these lights, and it's blinding you for a second. What we need to do is make sure when we talk to UI about the fixtures that we're going to be putting in our town, we need to make sure that they are the warmer color, which we can specify. Technology has been improving dramatically over the last couple of years. And actually, the longer that we wait to actually put new LED fixtures up, the better the technology will be, the more cost savings we will actually have, because they are becoming more and more energy efficient. And the light fixtures that they put in, you can see some examples actually out in the parking lot. most, like Joan Harrison School, the water company over there, you see that the light fixtures have flat bottoms and the light comes straight down. It doesn't go up, doesn't go to the side, it comes straight down, it doesn't glare in your eyes. The back fixtures that are around, there's actually one in the parking lot, it comes straight out, it faces you, and that actually blinds drivers. And you notice, most of us have older parents, somebody we know that doesn't want to drive at night because the headlights coming at them blind them, that the street lights blind them, they just don't feel safe driving at night. And with these new, if we do get these new bright blue LED fixtures, more and more people won't be able to drive at night because it's going to create glare and it's going to be harder for those people to drive, and it may even create accidents. If you've been in Branford, there's a church kind of near the center that has these bright lights that you just have to look away. You can't even look at the road. You have to look away. And whenever you can't look at the road and you have to look away, it's going to create an accident for somebody somewhere. And Eversource, because they had done a report where Eversource was installing the 4,000 degree Kelvin in their towns, and now they will install 2,000 degree Kelvin. Our Eversource said that we will make any modifications or replacements necessary to ensure the protection of public health and welfare. Contacted UI, they wouldn't talk to me because I'm just an average person. So I'm thinking that somebody of authority of the town manager, the mayor, talk to UI, you have more authority than a resident would, and to try to convince them to put the healthier LED lights in our town. So just, if you drive at night, you see one of these new cars come at you, most like a Honda or like an Acura like I have, those blue lights, you have to, you can't look at them, you have to look away. Or if you've been to an accident scene and the police have those bright blue LEDs on there, those lights are so bright that whether the policeman is waving you on or not, you can't even see the policeman because those blue lights are just shining at your eyes. So I'm here to say that when UI does approach a town, if they haven't already, that we should consider talking to them, discussing with them for a better version of the LED streetlights than what they want to push at us. And any reports they show you, if they're not written within the last 6 months or year, they're old reports using old technology. And everything's been updated since then, and it's much better than it was. And I have some printouts that I was going to give the town manager or Judy. And and if you have any kind of commission or anybody wants to talk about it, I've done a lot of research on this. I'm a retired electrical engineer. I know how things work. So I'll be glad to talk to anybody about, the right kind of lights, the wrong kind of lights, do a little show and tell, talk to around Jordan Harrison, some of the other places in town, and show an example of good lights, bad lights.
Is your contact information included in that packet?
It is not.
Could you please do that?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. No more citizen statements? Okay, next we'll move into resignation and appointments. Resignation of Michael Martin from the Solids Hazardous Waste Committee.
Move to accept. Second.
Roll call?
Mayor Duty.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fawnin.
Yes.
Counselor Angeloni.
Yes.
Counselor Arman.
Yes.
Counselor Candelora.
Yes.
Counselor Diamond.
Yes.
Counselor Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Rose.
Yes.
8-0.
Next item is appointment of Stacy Hines to the Region 2 Regional Mental Health Board.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mayor Duty.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fawnin.
Yes.
Counselor Angeloni.
Yes.
Counselor Arman.
Yes.
Counselor Candelora.
Yes.
Counselor Diamond.
Yes.
Counselor Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Rose.
Yes.
8-0.
Next item is reappointment of Donna Cardone from Solid Hazardous Waste Committee. Term expires 12/31/2017.
Second.
I'll move.
You did it first.
Oh, wait, sorry. Move to. Yes.
I'll make the motion, you're second.
I'll second.
Mayor Duty.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fawnin.
Yes.
Counselor Angeloni.
Yes.
Counselor Arman.
Yes.
Counselor Candelar.
Yes.
Counselor Diamond.
Yes.
Counselor Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Rose.
Yes.
8-0.
Next item is reappointment of Mary Bigelow from the Solid Hazardous Waste Committee. Term expires 12/31/2017.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call?
Mayor Duty.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fawnin.
Yes.
Counselor Angeloni.
Yes.
Counselor Arman.
Yes.
Counselor Candelar.
Yes.
Counselor Diamond.
Yes.
Counselor Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Rose.
Yes.
8-0.
Okay, next item is reappointment of Allison Carone from Solid Hazardous Waste Committee.
Cordone.
It's Karen.
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 Yep.
Karen.
Allison Karen.
Term expiring
Term
12/31/2018.
12/31/2018.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mayor Duty.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fawnin.
Yes.
Counselor Angeloni.
Yes.
Counselor Arman.
Yes.
Counselor Candelar.
Yes.
Counselor Diamond.
Yes.
Counselor Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Rose.
Yes.
8-0.
Next item is reappointment of Elizabeth Bazard from Solid Hazardous Waste Committee. Term expires 12/31/2018.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mayor Duty.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fawnin.
Yes.
Counselor Angeloni.
Yes.
Counselor Arman.
Yes.
Counselor Candelar.
Yes.
Counselor Diamond.
Yes.
Counselor Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Rose.
Yes.
8-0.
Next item is reappointment of Hank Protowski from Solid Hazardous Waste Committee. Term expires 12/31/2018.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mayor Duty.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fawnin.
Yes.
Counselor Angeloni.
Yes.
Counselor Arman.
Yes.
Counselor Candelar.
Yes.
Counselor Diamond.
Yes.
Counselor Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Rose.
Yes.
8-0.
Next item is reappointment of Deborah Anderson from Solid Hazardous Waste Committee. Term expires 12/31/2018.
So moved.
Had to get one in.
Second.
Roll call?
Mayor Duty.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fawnin.
Yes.
Counselor Angeloni.
Yes.
Counselor Arman.
Yes.
Counselor Candelar.
Yes.
Counselor Diamond.
Yes.
Counselor Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Rose.
Yes.
8-0.
Next is reappointment of Deborah Ferraro from Solid Hazardous Waste Committee. Term expires 12/31/2018.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mayor Duty.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fawnin.
Yes.
Counselor Angeloni.
Yes.
Counselor Arman.
Yes.
Counselor Candelar.
Yes.
Counselor Diamond.
Yes.
Counselor Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Rose.
Yes.
8-0.
Technical question, shouldn't it be of or to instead of
Yeah.
from?
Yeah, two. You should probably say two.
Since we're reappointing them to
To.
a group?
Right. Because when they resign
Yeah.
resign
Then it's from.
and
Then
then we
it's two.
appoint to.
Two.
So
Correct.
if we can make that a
A 2-2.
correction.
Moving to next item, unfinished business, discussion and action, a review of Unified Command Group, tabled from 12/13/2016.
Yeah, this, I think, was Counselor Rose's request and was absent last meeting, so we, I think, council tabled that for deference to his opportunity to speak on that. I did prepare a memo, basically, something that happened back in May, but the group, in fact, has never actually been convened.
So, yeah, I'll take it from here. The reason I asked him to be on here was because, you know, after I was trying to figure out who was like in charge of the dispatchers, and I think it was, you know, Anthony Esposito said, well, you guys formed a group that does that. So then I went to the town clerk and said, hey, give me the minutes of those meetings. And she said, you know, you need to talk to the town manager. She goes, the wording, when you guys created this group, she thought that we might want to look at it again. She says, she told me, and so anyway, so that's what she told me. So I went to Michael, and Michael said, and, you know, please correct me if I put words in your mouth. He says, you know, I kind of agreed with that. That's why I never convened a meeting with this group. So then I went back to the town clerk and said, you know, what are your concerns? And she said, the wording, when we created them, we created a group that doesn't answer to anybody but themselves. They do not report back to us. They don't have to take minutes. They're not a public meeting. And so in my mind, I said, the town council did not want to appoint this group with those parameters. So that's why it's here. So, you know, I don't know what we do with it, but the town manager, the town clerk had concerns with the wording of the way the group was created. So I think that we either need to send that motion probably to the town attorney and have him look at it and see if any of those concerns hold merit or not.
I remember when we did that, and it was my recollection that we formed that group to facilitate transparency among, like when there's an incident regarding dispatch, that those, the different department heads that are involved with dispatch get together and meet to ensure transparency and corrective action if needed. Is that kind of close to your recollection, Councilor Rose?
The thing was, the fire chief never had any access, and that's,
So then he,
that's what really spurred it, was.
right, exactly, because we were having problems.
I agree with how we got thinking that we needed this group.
But then how to facilitate it,
But
though.
I don't think that the town council would have, I don't think any of us created a group that answers to nobody.
Right.
Right, so now it's time for the town attorney and maybe
To-
the town manager to work up some type of procedure.
Right, I think we moved too fast in terms of undefined duties and responsibilities, and weren't clearly, it was just an emotion, not a resolution. I don't think it was clearly defined. And again, as Councilor Rosen said, you know, reporting, you know, what exactly, what's the goal we're looking for? Not only access for you know, the chiefs to talk and communicate, access to records. Certainly, I think that was the goal, but how we go about it, or what their function is as a body, and how often they're gonna meet, and why.
Like whether they're an advisory to us or, you know, but anyway, apparently, you know, right now, they're kind of like their own entity,
Mhm.
but they never met, so.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more clarification we'll need, and I'll certainly
Okay.
work with Pat to do that, and we can bring it back, for the
You
next.
probably could reach out to CCM, there's gotta be other boards and,
Yeah, potential, but I
like that
think
within the state.
it's here, if the council agrees that it basically, it's the sharing of information, then it can be mainly, I think, you know, advisory, group, that has, you know, the ability to review, records and/or, you know, cases if need be.
Overseen by
And-
council.
And beyond, almost like ethics, I guess, on a case-by-case basis as needed.
but it has to be immediately, I mean, it can't be,
Right, in
you
certain
know,
right.
dragged out month, 2
Right.
months, you know, 6 months. It has to be, I think the whole thing was transparency immediately,
Right.
you know. When somebody requested something, it should be, they should have access to it.
Yeah.
Well then, you wanna send it,
To the town attorney.
Yeah.
Is that a motion, or just?
is that a motion now?
Yeah, I guess, if we need a
Somebody
motion.
second it?
Okay, so I'll second that, to make, you know, to direct that to the town attorney for clarification.
Of their duties, their powers, who they report to, or tweak it so that
Yeah.
he thinks that it fits in what we were trying to do.
Right.
Yeah, because in the motion, it says established for the purpose of managing the operational effectiveness and efficiency of the North Branford Telecommunications Dispatch Center. Like, isn't that part of the duty,
Eh,
or no?
And this way, at least when it comes back, we know whether it's a resolution or whether it's, you know, what we have
Right.
to do with it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we want to be really clear about what it is this group, this body is going to do and what it's not going to do. And I think we're straying into, you know, the dispatch center itself already has a home in terms of operation. It's under the police department, police commission. But in this sense, I think we're looking at dispatch in the larger view of trying to be proactive and improving whatever needs to be improved, or if there's an incident, and that's what I think the genesis of this came from, was an incident that needed to be reviewed, that we're gonna share information when we need to.
So what is it that we're doing here? Is it we're asking the town
Well, the
attorney
question
to,
that I had, George, was, you know, and I'll go, you know, a little bit further, and like, you know, what the town clerk told me, the way, you know, she handles these things all the time, was the group that we created and the way the motion was written, that group could decide on its own to send the dispatchers to Branford.
I heard
And
you
it would
on,
not come back to the council, it wouldn't go to the police commission. That group alone, we created a group that had more power than the town council, and
I
answers
heard,
to nobody.
I heard your
And I
concerns.
personally didn't support that.
Okay, and I heard your concerns, and I'm sympathetic to them. What I'm asking is, what are we asking the town attorney to do? Are we asking the town attorney to formulate a motion for us to consider?
I guess we're asking them to look at it and then make suggested corrections to make it fit with every other group that we form in, you know, as a council.
We want to make sure that whatever it is under the direction of town council,
Right.
first of all. That's first and foremost, right? And then we need to clarify it as, we know, what would be the parameters of their actions, right? Maybe some sort of a prudent timeline, I don't know, Pat. And to ensure some sort of transparency when they are called by town council to meet, that we have a report or a disposition. So that's what we need the clarification for, I think. But whatever it is, it's gotta be under the direction of town council, though.
Gotcha.
I think one of the first places to look is under the Public Safety Communication Committee, because that's where this recommendation came. So obviously, there's something in their minutes from whenever they met prior to this, because they're the ones that came back to the council with
And then-
this recommendation, so.
Valid point.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't need this group if the latter group you just mentioned, maybe that group can just handle it.
I think the main reason for this was the transparency and the sharing and the inability,
I totally get that.
so you're
But
right.
maybe
Maybe
the
that
communications group
you know, you don't need this.
could handle it and we don't need
We
this.
don't
I mean,
need
if
this.
we don't need it, then let's not do it.
But then if we wanted to go that direction, then we wanna include this language into that.
Right.
And to that committees, subcommittees,
Whatever their
Because you're right,
charge is.
Rose is right, it came from that committee because of the
Right.
Right.
concern
Right.
of the inability to share information
After an incident,
after
correct.
an incident.
Is the Director of Public Works on that committee and emergency manager?
No, they're not, but certainly we could change the.
yeah, sure, they could be,
So then that has to be looked at.
Right.
right.
Right. And it may come back that we,
Maybe you
that
need-
we
maybe you
cancel,
need the
that
other
we
group, like,
vote to
You know what I mean?
abolish
If-
this
wh-
and then.
whatever.
Well, it's
do
easier
something.
for 4 people to meet quarterly
Right.
to work out any problems versus a committee that meets of 10, 12 people that meets once a month.
Or they can also
Or-
just be a part of their
And
mandate, that
these
they
are-
meet with this subcommittee.
These are
you know,
basically all department heads.
once every quarter, right.
Right.
And that may be healthy too, you know, because even if there's not an incident, we may want to review issues that come up and be on top of them, right?
Yeah, I mean, if that committee doesn't go anywhere, then they could report to the Public Safety Communications Committee.
Right,
which-
that's what
which-
I'm saying, right.
Which certainly bring it back to
I
the
think it
town
might be
council.
something as simple as they are an advisory committee. I think the word advisory being left out, you know, meant that, you know, nobody really understood who they were, what they were. what they
Advising.
were, You know,
Right, right.
so,
In terms of a subset advisory to the public safety or to the town council?
I think to the town council.
Town council.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next is RFP for marketing.
You had a motion.
There's a motion made.
Yeah. Roll call?
What did the motion say?
It said,
He gets
motion
it.
by Al, seconded by Dan, send language to the town attorney for clarification of duties and powers.
Perfect.
Mayor Duty,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fauna,
Yes.
Counselor Angeloni?
Yes.
Counselor Arman?
Yes.
Counselor Candelara?
Yes.
Counselor Diamond?
Yes.
Counselor Miller?
Yes.
Counselor Rose?
Yes.
8-0.
Okay, next we'll move into RFP for marketing, 1599 Foxton Road, North Branford, tabled 11/1/16.
Yeah, I think we agreed to keep that tabled until we get such a time that I
Until
think we're gonna get through the
springtime
demolition
Until
process.
springtime when
Right,
we
sometime in the
get
spring.
movement on that property. So I would like a
Right.
motion to table that until,
Want to make it till April?
yeah, let's make it until April, our
April.
first meeting in April.
Second.
Roll call.
Stand by. Mayor Duty.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fawnin.
Yes.
Counselor Angeloni?
Yes.
Counselor Arman?
Yeah, yes.
Counselor Candelara?
Yes.
Counselor Diamond?
Yes.
Counselor Miller?
Yes.
Counselor Rose?
Yes.
8-0.
And Mike, in the interim, can you give feedback as to when they may make movement on that property or what their timeline may be, so we.
Yeah,
have it
I can inquire and bring it back for the meeting on the 17th.
done? Okay, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Next item is update and review of North Branford High School boiler replacement, RFP.
Yeah, at the last meeting, we had that discussion. I know Don is here. We instructed to go out for an RFP. They did that. The date, the opening was today. Don is here, can walk you through it, but essentially they got three. One, they had to disqualify, but they have three and they're ready to take action on that. So I don't know if you have any questions, but I asked Don to come here just to clarify, but they're ready to go. They got
Actually, I had so much fun last time I volunteered.
Can you give us a brief update, Don?
Yeah, we had,
Can you just come up to the microphone just for, I know, it's for the camera.
well, yeah, that's.
Hey, you wanted to show
We can
up.
all hear you. but-
Been on camera enough. We put the bid out, we advertised the bid, I believe it was on the 16th. We had a mandatory walkthrough on the 23rd. We had 3 people come to the mandatory walkthrough. 2 of them submitted bids. Another contractor submitted a bid, but we disqualified them because they weren't at the mandatory walkthrough. DTC bid $11,900. Silver Petroselli bid $17,000, I think it was $600. And the one that was disqualified, what actually was a bid of $12,200. So DTC was the low bidder, even if we had included the other one. I did feel better about having that third one because of the spread between the first 2. But the third one actually came in fairly close to what DTC had bid. So we have scheduled a meeting of the board for 6 o'clock on Thursday, because I was advised by the town manager that the board should award the bid, not the town council.
I mean, it's in their budget. They issued it. I think it's cleaner, neater if they just make the award. They've done the bid process, the RFP process, and they have the jurisdiction to do that, and they'll be funding it out of their budget, so it makes sense to do that.
And then the bid included a delivery date of January 16th, at which time we will take the bid specs. We will have them reviewed by myself, Bill Chody, John Florio. If Kurt wants to join the party, that's fine too, and as well as the building official. And then we'll ultimately create the bid for the project itself, obviously pending. At that point, we'll have to discuss exactly how the funding is going and what you want as far as a timetable for that.
Don, in a perfect world, if we're identifying the funding and a deadline or a turnaround time of the 16th of January, where do you see, I mean, how long could you hold the bids if you needed to, or how fast could you do it conversely?
Well, I mean, once we have the bid specs, then, once we do the review, we're again in control of the timeline.
Yeah.
And so, we
I guess
can
what-
talk about that, because I can come
Yeah.
to another meeting, we can talk about that.
Yeah, no, because I'm wondering if this is a project that gets done within the heating season, or are we going to be
Well, I mean,
well
that
past that?
would be ideal, and, I mean, I guess one of the reasons for kind of forging ahead is if we were to have a problem, we're that much farther down the road,
in terms of being able to put something together. If we don't need to do that, then, you know, we may miss the majority of this heating season. Again, the plan, as we believe, will be that they can put these boilers in on an existing pad that used to be for the third boiler that's no longer in use. And so they could pretty much do the installation and run it up to where they just have, you know, a foot and a half of pipe to put in to do the tying into the hot water system. Again, this is what I would consider phase one. We still will need the steam boiler to run the 2 gyms. And so doing something with that will be a secondary, and I guess what we probably do is put out a separate RFP for that. In terms of design, you have some options, whether it's converting those to hot water or going to direct gas fire.
Anthony, have you heard anything from the state yet on your request of
Negative.
using money?
And the other thing we haven't done, and again, I'm not optimistic, but I don't know whether we've actually contacted the school facilities to find out if there's any funding available, but my guess is not.
And Don, the scope is somewhere between 140 and 150?
That's a reasonable estimate.
Yeah.
But that doesn't include this design phase,
No,
correct?
right.
That's just the equipment and installation is the rough estimate.
Separately, separate question. Where are we at with the carpeting in the auditorium? Did that ever get done, or? I know I'm catching you off guard.
The carpeting in the auditorium, you know what, I haven't gotten an update on that recently, and I'm not sure exactly where it stands.
Okay.
Thank you, Don.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, it's great fun.
One of the things you had asked in terms of trying, obviously, to answer the question where the money's gonna come from, we can tie this maybe into the allocation that the council did for the roof project. If you recall, the roof project allocation was significant allocation to the tune of $294,000 that's set aside. So we're into it for 30. I'm not sure where it's going to go or how high it will go, but I can't anticipate that. I can't imagine it's going to go that high. So that is one of the funds we've circled to potentially have you look at, for the actual funding of that. But again, it's also a timing issue in terms of when and how you want to do it. I don't know if this can be, if we get through the heating season, and this, or is this something you want to address and do now as a capital, because we won't really know the full extent of the roof project until we get into the summer. But that's a big number, so I think there's some money that could be potentially be carved out of that.
And if I recall, most of that, wasn't that from CIP projects from the Board of Ed from previous years that
You are
were not-
correct.
Yeah, we put that money aside, you're right.
Right.
Bathrooms, other things.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So food for thought.
Yeah. Thank you. Moving to new business discussion and action, review of police facilities renovation and expansion project.
Yeah,
Basically, what you have in front of you, after all the different needs assessment and review with various groups, are those areas within the police facility that really need to be either renovated in some way, expanded, or whatever. Because I think the general feeling is, keep the building that we have now, do some work within that building, perhaps expand that building to meet some of the needs. The idea of bringing the ambulance building over, it just isn't at this time gonna fly with most people. I don't think the feeling we got from the fire commission is that this is not the time to be doing that kind of thing. So that what you have in front of you is the list of those areas that have been identified over and over again between the different needs assessments that we've done in meetings, that really need some work. And what we're looking for is the opportunity now to do an an architectural drawing so that we get an idea of what the price would be and how we can work with that. Going along with that, we are looking at additional funding. We're looking at perhaps going through the route, if possible, through the U.S. Department of Agriculture. It turns out that we, as North Branford, it's based on population. It's not so much, I thought originally it was based on, you know, how much farmland or whatever you had. That is a possibility for us to look at. And you can get a 40-year loan, some kind of a loan on that. So I'm asking at this point, until we perhaps get a little more information, if maybe we could postpone any decision on this for one more meeting so we can get some more accurate information. Anthony is working on that. We have met with the woman from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, so we have a better understanding of perhaps that would be a route to go to finance this.
I think one of the valley towns did that, right?
Yeah, Ansonia, that's how Ansonia did their police facility. It has a lot of promise, but I think we just need, Anthony just needs a little more time. But in order for us to go that route, though, we need to know what it's gonna cost. And in order to get the cost, we need, we need some kind of architectural drawings. And I know that there is that $100,000 in there for facility study, that hopefully we could use some of those funds to do that. But at this point, I would ask that we postpone for one more meeting, so I can give you some more information, hopefully, on the idea of the loan from the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Okay, so you gotta move the table it?
Yes, I'd make a motion to table it to the next meeting.
And I'll second that.
I just want to add a piece of dynamic in terms of clarification. And Marie's right, we met with USDA, and really you got to think of it as a funding opportunity or a funding mechanism. It's not a grant. It's not funding for grant funds for the project.
You have to pay back.
It's a payback.
It's a loan.
It's a loan.
Yeah.
That may be more advantageous for us in terms of a funding mechanism versus your straight general obligation bonds. So we're exploring that, but I think, coming back to, the actual, facility itself, that the next step, the group has done a lot of work and there's been a lot of conversation. And I think the last one, or the previous meeting, the council was pretty much coming to, I think, a consensus to say that something needs to be done. It's really, you haven't yet really defined the scope as to what you're comfortable with in doing. And I think that's where you need to go. And maybe I think, the architectural, taking the next step to the architect and getting a firmer idea of what you could do, what you could accomplish in terms of a small renovation expansion or mid-level or something. I think it needs an architect's study, and the funds are there to pursue that. So I think logically, in my mind, that would be the next step to take to see how much you could do if you're comfortable with, maybe it's a number, maybe it's, it's 2 million, it's 3 million, it's 4 million. What can you accomplish? What architect would show you and get that done? To look at that list and say, yeah, there are a lot of deficiencies there, and we need to do something. How much can we afford to do, I guess, is the question, and that's really the scope, I think, and that's what I think an architect will help do. But again, that's just my 2 cents.
All right, so we have a motion to table.
Yes, sir.
Roll call.
Mayor Duty?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fawnin?
Yes.
Counselor Angeloni?
Yes.
Counselor Arman?
Yes.
Counselor Candelara?
Yes.
Counselor Diamond?
Yes.
Counselor Miller?
Yes.
Counselor Rose?
Yes.
8-0.
Next item is Connecticut DEMIS Report 2, Region 2, 2016 Homeland Security Grant Program Resolution and MOA.
Right, this is the next round of the Homeland Security DEMIS Region 2 grant, and this is the format. They give us a resolution and MOA, and I put the application in there. Essentially, the state, I think, gets 1.6 million and about 317,000 coming to Region 2 for various different programs that they do within the region. We're obviously part of Region 2, and so they've annual, I think, semi-annually basis, we have to do this resolution, and the language is before you to enact that.
Somebody want to move that?
I'm not clear as to what this is, Mike. I mean, I'm just not, I don't understand what this.
We get, there are federal funds that come to the state for Homeland Security Emergency Management. And then the state is divided into regions, and we're Region 2. And I think there's 7 regions, so there's $1.6 million that passes through. I think every 2 years this comes. Is it? I think it's every 2 years comes through, and we do this. And our chunk goes to the region. It helps with regional asset, bomb squad, a bunch of different programs that go for training, emergency management that we are able to take
Some
advantage
equipment
of.
sometimes. We've obtained equipment under it and
Yeah,
stuff for
a
the
lot of it
Emergency
is
Operations Center.
training and sharing of resources that come, but they need each town in the region to sign off and approve, and this is the
Oh, okay.
boilerplate that you see, and that's why there's tons of pages here in terms of the actual agreement and resolution, and they have the specific language, and I know Joe, Counselor Fawn had mentioned it last time, which was the way it reads, executing and delivering all agreements and documents contemplated by such documents, which is, kind of funny, but that's just the way they request it, and that's what we did last time, and again, it's the same language, so it's another round of funding.
Okay.
And that's the way they want it, and they want it their way, I guess.
Dan, you gonna move that suggested resolution?
Okay. Further be resolved that, further resolved that Michael T. Powhouse, as town manager of North Branford, is authorized and directed to execute and deliver any and all documents on behalf of the North Branford Town Council, and to do and perform all acts and things, that's another one of your legalese things, Joe, which he deems to be necessary or appropriate to carry out the terms of such documents, including but not limited to executing and delivering all agreements and documents contemplated by such documents. Did that make any?
The nuts and bolts of
Was
the
it-
resolution is the first
First
paragraph.
paragraph.
That the town of North Branford may enter into with and deliver to the State of Connecticut Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection, Division of Emergency Management and Homeland Security, any and all documents which it deems to be necessary or appropriate.
Thank you.
I'll
And
second.
the latter.
Roll call?
Mayor Duty.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fawnin.
Yes.
Counselor Angeloni.
Yes.
Counselor Arman.
Yes.
Counselor Candelora.
Yes.
Counselor Diamond.
Yes.
Counselor Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Rose.
Yes.
8-0.
Next, we'll move into the citizen statements and petitions.
I just have one question in regards to the email you sent us today, Michael, in regards to potential cuts, or
Cuts.
exactly what, is that proposed? Is it?
No, I from what I understand,
It's a
it's
done
a done deal.
Okay.
And so we're trying to get clarification if there's anything more coming, and we're also trying to get Representative Candelora office and see if Vinnie is available for the next meeting or a February meeting, and maybe even in addition to Senator Kennedy, to tell us what they see on the horizon and what we can brace for. But this is a current year cut of funding, 84,000 on the Board of Education side ECS formula, and 88,000, roughly give or take, 88,766, I think, for our LoCIP side. But Anthony and
Yeah,
Kurt
fortunately, we haven't
together-
spent it yet.
We
so-
haven't spent it, so it's just something we won't do.
What, the LoCIP money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than having a hole that we expended and not getting, we haven't spent it, we won't do it.
Okay.
So, from a timing perspective, I guess, it doesn't hurt us that, it still hurts, but we did not do those projects, so.
Okay, and then, so the ECS money on the Board of Ed side, that would come from the Board of Ed? I mean, we have to, how does that work?
Just be a revenue shortfall.
Yeah, 88 short.
General fund revenue shortfall.
Okay, so then we wouldn't, so we don't reduce their budget by that amount, we just take it out on the town side? Is that what happens?
We just get less revenue. We've never gone back and revised the expenditure side of the budget. We've
Okay.
had these revenue deviations. It's just a matter of, is it a revenue surplus or revenue shortfall? The numbers are typically never what they tell us at budget time. They always alter a little bit. This year, they're altering obviously against us, but we've never gone back and changed the budgets on the expenditure side.
Okay.
As obnoxious as the concept is, that mid-year they're sending us a cut in our state funding. I didn't see anything about this in the New Haven newspapers, but it was the headline last week in the Hartford Courant. And if you read that headline article, the cuts to some towns were devastating. Towns that could afford it, like Greenwich, were cut as much as 90% of the grant that they were projected to get last, May or June or whatever it was last year. So they had 90% of their funding eliminated. And other wealthy towns like Darien were like 40 and 50%. Madison was, I think, about 35 or 40%. So as horrible as it is, it really is a less significant amount of money than other towns are being hit with. The total reduction was 51 million statewide, I think.
I think it's a precursor for what's coming, though.
Next year is going to be.
It's gonna be a killer.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
They have no money. So, you know, it's inevitable they have to make the cuts to town aid. It's, they have to.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other citizen statements?
Yeah, I just want to make a comment. I think that we had a good presentation on the streetlights. And instead of, I'm not sure UI is going to contact us. I'm sure they're going to change to LED, but maybe we should be proactive, Michael, and why don't you contact them and ask them, you know, what their plans are and give them our concerns. So I think those were all very legitimate
Yeah, I
concerns.
totally agree.
So, and if, you know, I'd hate to get that nice presentation and not call them, and then all of a sudden they're all changed to the wrong light. She's gonna come back here and yell at us.
Well, that's why I want to, I mean, that's why I want to make sure she had, you know, our contact information so we can follow up with.
There's actually a state law that states they have to be full cutoff, Public Act 01-134. There's some information on that in the package you gave you.
Good.
Thank you. And next we'll move into executive session. Connecticut General Statutes 1-206B, pending litigation regarding 400 Totoga Road.
Yeah, and
I'll
I
make the motion to
Included Carrie?
Yeah, Carrie, Tom Hogarty, and Kurt Weiss.
Okay.
and the town manager and town attorney.
Second.
Second.
Sorry.
Roll call?
That was made by Counselor Fawn and Counselor Miller, second?
Yes.
Yes.
Mayor Duty.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fawnin.
Yes.
Counselor Angeloni.
Yes.
Counselor Arman.
Yes.
Counselor Candelora.
Yes.
Counselor Diamond.
Yes.
Counselor Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Rose.